Hello everybody, I'm Doherty from the Game Channel. Welcome back to the New Order, the last days of Europe, and to the Republic of Ireland. We're in the last episode. Basically, Labour were just blocking their own, well, not their own, but they're going to do that now. They were blocking bills. And we also started a new investigation as well. We're Inspector Doherty. So, let's have a read. We've got a wee choice down here. Another one. Inspector Doherty leaned down and picked up the cartridge by inserting his pen into the hole where the bullet had been lifting it top. Took a closer look at it. Same as the others, he said to himself before placing it into an evidence bag. There was plenty of cartridges and bullets around, but he had seen enough to make a conclusion. Lieutenant, he called out to the man from military intelligence. "Got a bag of 38 Smith and Wesson for you. I think our suspects were using English revolvers. The Brits had those during the war, and we used 455 Wembley in our sidearms then." "My God," said the lieutenant. "Does this mean it's false flag attack?" This was an unexpected conclusion. "What?" asked Doherty in disbelief. "English are behind this, for sure then," said the lieutenant. "They supplied the weapons for this attack. This means they're behind it. They do IRA attacks in the process to rile them up. This might be part of their plan for their takeover." "Don't be daft," said Doherty. "They just use English ammunition, that's all, and we used English ammunition ourselves for quite a time. It doesn't mean a conspiracy when someone uses Smith and Wesson." "But you know these things do happen," said the lieutenant. "I know you don't really believe the war started with the Gliwice incident, Inspector." This was a ludicrous theory, though thought the inspector at first, but so many crazy things had happened in the world. It did have a shred of possibility. No, it's not the English. Why would it be the English? Let's keep it under our hats. They have stuff to concern themselves over there anyways. They have their own resistance thing going on, so... I better encourage the hardliners because, let's be honest, the LP's not doing anything for us. "The 38/100 is a common cartridge," said Gerard Byron, head of ballistics, over the noise of a lunchtime crowd at the pub. "I wouldn't say it's impossible to source a revolver that uses it from a civilian source, but the most common one that uses it around here would be a British Wembley or Enfield." "So where might the IRA have acquired it?" asked Inspector Doherty as he took a bite of his tomato farci. "From England itself?" Byrne shook his head. "England doesn't have so many stocks of those guns anymore. The vast majority of them were destroyed as part of a disarmament during the post-war. Even when they switched to automatic pistols, they still keep their hands on every weapon they can get. The only source would have some stock of weapons kept as war trophies by an army similarly lacking its armament." He took a bite out of his sandwich. "So the Irish army is storing a bunch of decommissioned ones from 1944 in a warehouse. Is it worth taking a look at it then?" said Doherty. "Some clerk might be letting some slip on the side." "Most likely, yes. That's the only source I know of, and it's most likely the one you're looking for. I'd go in, check the books, and come back with a few addresses to knock on." "Let's kick in the door. Let's kick it down." Liberals, you're just annoying as well. At least, are we still on schedule for making this? We are. Good. As expected, Doherty and his men prepared to raid the warehouse holding the revolvers. The sound of pushing trucks got their attention. Several vehicles, all with army markings, passed by them. A small staff car in the middle parked in front of the Garda. A man in the uniform of an army captain stepped out. "Inspector Doherty," he asked. "I am Colonel James Kelly, military intelligence. Your investigation has now been transferred to me. It is a case of national security, and we'll be the ones to prosecute it." "You're taking it over?" said Doherty. "The same people who leaked the guns in the first place? You expect me to believe this is some sort of cover-up?" "You're off the case, Inspector. Now, are you going to stand there all night, or do you want me to get my men to remove you?" For a hot moment, both men stared at each other. Doherty momentarily thought about the weight of his hidearm on his waist and started considering if he should pull it out. And another guard offered to grab his arm. "It isn't worth it, Eamon," he said. "Come on, let's go back to the station." Doherty followed him, giving the smug captain a quick glance before going back to his car. Well, at least I think that's still a success. It was a success, the neighbourhood attack. Doherty is on an absolute mad one, and we've actually reduced the power of two of these guys. The RIRA are extremely angry, and so are the SE. I'm hoping we can kick the RIRA down and just deal with them. "Oh, you're no longer here. Oh, well, that's a shame." But surely we're going to have a bill passing. So this is taking a lot of time to go through, is it not? Labour Protection Bill. Campaign with Cornish. The current status quo that holds Ireland together as a coalition government we hold with the help of our friends in the Labour Party. Not friends anymore. Well, we don't actually need to promise anything to the workers for our coalition hold in the current political climate, if we hold a few high-profile rallies that show our politicians stand side by side with popular Labour leader Brendan Corish, people can make the educated guess that we're pro-worker administration. I don't want to be pro-worker. I don't want to. Look at them. They're not even cooperating with me at all now. At least the hardliners and the devilerists are on our side. Thank you so much. Even trying to cooperate with them now is a complete and utter waste of my time. Do you know what? Flippin' de-radicalise that bill. Who even cares? We'll get rid of that. We will. Just got 3 mil. I'm gonna build another civilian factory. Got that money. Got 1 mil. And you know what? Repress them. Repress them. They're already extremely angry. I might as well do it to the SE as well. I'm gonna kick you down, boys. The Italians win the Italo-Turkish War. I feel like the government's gonna go down in bloody flames. The right calls for restraint. Okay. Ha! Well, I'm definitely gonna be doing that. Make the reductions. Anything they want, I'll do. The bill passes. Limited safety regulations. Good. I love how the bill passed with the help of the hardliners. Okay, he's won. Social democracy. What's with the social democracies winning? Definitely not having that over here. Religious education bill. What are the values that define an Irishman? A good Irishman is a brave, proud, firmly Republican man who loves his country and his family. More importantly, a good Irishman is a God-fearing Catholic. As the stewards of Ireland and our people, it is our responsibility to raise the children of Ireland to follow this ideal. We will introduce a bill to the Dáil to reform the education system to focus on teaching Catholic moralism over newer, lesser necessary subjects. By controlling what is taught in our public schools, we can influence societal development and will ensure every child knows that Irish values are Catholic values. Ah, yes, we have negative political power right now. That's nice. The right empowered. Yay. Might as well. I really don't care for their cooperation now. We're just going to keep empowering the flipping hardliners. Let's empower the right. Yay. Not what I was planning on doing, but Labour forced my hand. Oh. We're almost there. Oh, less than a week. And I think we're going to just be finishing. Oh, we're going to be finishing with plenty of time, actually. Yes, get that approval up to near enough 69, not 69, 59%, 69. Love how I just went straight to that. Cheeky. Oh, I bet you the bill fails this time. This bill will fail. Oh crap, I forgot it's actually going through Parliament right now. It's alright, the hardliners have got our backs. Our cooperation with them is good. The government's going to fall apart, isn't it? Shoot the Liberals! Okay, we're about 70, 140. Of course, another missed opportunity. Oh well, I wonder what happened to cause that problem. Oh, it wouldn't be because of these two groups of guys, is it? You can pretty much say that all of these last remaining bills, the last 4, are going to go in the bin, which means their success rate of getting the bills through is probably about, 33%. We're getting close to the German Civil War when Madagascar is flipping collapsing. Right, media regulation bill. The age of television is upon us. Television and radio have exploded recently. Nearly every house in Ireland has a television. Nearly everyone has a place they can find a radio. These devices are usually used to broadcast world events, sports and weather. The main focus for us the many newspapers in Ireland. All the independent IDs and mantras. However, these can be great tools to garner interest in our cause. Currently, there's lots of propaganda flooding around, whether the news corporation is pro-Nazi or pro-socialist, even run by Protestants. We need to put a stop to this with the bill. Once we can limit this, we can start to print our own pro-FF news. Oh, well, that's not going to go through at all, is it? Okay, so we just need to wait 100 days? I built the civilian factory. I built it in the States. Didn't say where it needed to go. I've not even built in the right place. What? But how does that make any sense? Unbelievable. I built the city. Oh, the economy. Oh, UVF terror now. Sirens rose across Northern Ireland in the aftermath of the latest. Oh, that's just. You've forced my hand. I respect the ceasefire. I don't bloody think you are. Please. Oh, and look, let's bring you down. And you. We ain't tolerating your kind of stuff now, right? That's not going on. That's not happening. Well, it'd help, you know. I can't actually believe that. I've just built a civilian factory in the wrong bloody bit. Oh, we're gonna make Ireland burn. We're not reforming this. We aren't recovering the industry. We're gonna put it into the flipping ground. Labour is upset. Do you know what? I don't care about Labour at this point. They've been in a hissy fit for the last 2 months in this, or longer. Make the bill more radical. Yes. Oh. Fail, 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 Bill. Go on. And it fails. You're absolutely useless. Oh, the North Irish Constabulary is perhaps the most disastrous success story for a great nation. NIC is single-handedly our greatest ally in the mess that is special situation in Northern counties. Contrarily, their blatant and unrestrained corruption shows no sign of slowing down or ceasing. On the other hand, though, it means that we can trust them so long as the money keeps flowing. The thing is, they're not really corrupt anymore because they've been spending time sorting it out. Oh, they're slightly corrupt again. At least they like us a lot. Oh, what an absolute disaster. Labour. Oh. Actually infuriating me, these bills failing, because they'll probably be giving us some good stuff. But oh well, fuck it. After recent elevations, we have found that our infrastructure is good. We're not nearly as great as it should be. Our current budget for the year is limited, but we can use it to stretch. To fit as possible to stretch the budget, we should try. Oh, another attack. More money can acquire for the projects that aren't needed can be funneled into public works and infrastructure. The bill is, if passed, will give us more funds that we can allocate to our budget. Using this money can begin to invest wholly into Ireland. We'll direct a large chunk of the funds into railway line. Oh, so that would help us with infrastructure. But guess what? Oh, Labour will block that. It's okay, hardliners. I'll continue to empower you. Don't know how the left wing even has that much support because we don't even care about them at all. Charlemagne massaged his nose with the rough skin of his thumb and pointer finger before rubbing his hand over his tired face and resting his chin upon his palm. All right, Imogen, I'm ready, he said with a sigh. What's the news? His new secretary cleared her throat. The girl was a helpful sort, given this job because she was the niece of some MP or another who cashed in a favour. Shumalas had traded so many favours to keep the country together they could no longer keep track of who owed who anything. Mr. Tasic, the Northern Irish Constabulary reports that the militant organisation have increased their activity this week. The Sourier have plastered town with anti-German pamphlets, and the real IRE have committed yet another arson attack in the Protestant districts. And the Ulster Volunteer Force has hospitalised 2 more constables in the name of throwing up the Catholics. The girl looked to him expectantly, as though she thought a rousing speech was about to come from his mouth and decisive orders to be given to the nation. Said he let out a long and ragged sigh. More trouble in the special zone, Imogen? There's always more trouble in the special zone. It's okay. I'm single-handedly dealing with that by making sure these guys are not corrupt. Brutal corruption. At least they bloody love us. You're welcome. Oh, can we actually send guns? Wait, what? How does that help? Greater opinion of us. Okay, well, I've already got a great opinion of us, so... Oh, man. Fail, Bill. Fail. That's all we're thinking. Oh, yeah, I've not actually checked. Novosibirsk has a focus tree. The Spring Rapusta. Right, we missed the first bit. Federation's heart. We're at war with Tomsk. Tomsk, liberal democracy. And they're at war with Kemerovo as well. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Oh, the moderate finance bill. One of the bills, the only bills to pass. What's that? Make the bill more radical? Yes, please. Oh, stuff labour at this point. Yay! De Valeris are well with us. This is good. At least these guys are cooperating with us. We're about to pee off. I still can't believe that. I failed. How did we fail? I clicked on this. I'm being infuriated by you today, TNO. I really am. Oh, empower the left. Stop empowering the left when we fail. They don't deserve the bloody. That's it. We need to empower the hardliners. We're just gonna keep empowering them now. Civilian investment bill. Oh, the last one to fail. Aren't we going to be so happy that we can say the bill passing has been a resounding success? Wow, that's a creaky chair. Yeah, wow, this is went down with like zero like hindrance at all. Like my days. Who was elected to Japan there? Akira Masanusuke. I have terrible pronunciations. I really am. What's that? Interactions? Empower? Oh, that's nice. Shall I just empower them as well? Oh, there we go. Yeah, say goodbye to your support left. Let's cooperate with you. No, I don't want yours. I don't want your flipping cooperation. I don't even want the Irish investment. Can we just kick out the investors? They're already peed off as it is. Come on, this bill's gonna fail. Yes, radicalize it even more. Oh wait, why did I radicalize the bill? Oh, I've just went against what I was doing. Oh. I hate doing this passing bill crap. As I don't like it, mainly because we fail it all the time. Yay! Erengo Bra, the country has finally been stabilised. Has it? Nothing. Our economy is finally stable. Nope. For once, not on the verge of collapsing on itself. It really is. Ulster has thankfully been stabilised as well. So now we can finally focus on other things. We can finally relax for a few moments in time. Maybe throw a small celebration where we should begin to plan our next years. It may seem that we are finished on the domestic side, but still have lots to do on the international stage and even some issues back home, with them being in this situation with Ulster. While it seemed to have stabilised, it could boil over at any moment. Our international stage, we need to contend the issue of reopening talks from Germany, where right now it's time for a celebration for Ireland. Celebrate for what? The amount of bills that have failed is unbelievable. There better be no more bill passing. I really can't be bothered with it. Oh, and it's that time again to repress all of the paramilitaries. Oh, they're all extremely angry. So, right, look at that. We're the NIC love us. Work to do. Work to do you? You have 9 divisions and you're against 7 to 9. Be interesting to see how that goes for you. Oh, 35 days until the focus is finished. Oh yeah, it's like October. Where Mr. H dies. Cool. Let me just chill over here. Keep forgetting Dumfries and Ireland. Dumfries and Carlisle are on the map. Look at those great old Scottish cities there. You know, saying that I've only been to Perth once. That was like in 2010. Never been to Stornoway or Wick. That's a hell of a trip from where I live in Scotland, though. That's a whole bloody. That's a trip from Dumfries all the way up. That's from one side of Scotland to the other, really. didn't realise the Port of Plymouth was its own thing. Ah, the evening rush. O'Flaherty's pub was busy as usual. It was the evening rush and people were coming out in droves for a bite to eat at the pub. Adam O'Flaherty, the owner, had been kept on his toes with the influx of patrons over the past couple of years. Ireland was finally starting to get back on her feet. No, it's not. Half the bills failed. 90% have failed. Our feet, it seemed. And the people were feeling the benefits. What benefits? More and more people could afford to eat out or get a drink. And Adam himself was even able to afford to hire a proper cook so he could focus on the bar. Tom and a few of his buddies were sitting at one end of the bar, chatting loudly among themselves. Tom was now considered a bit of a local hero after he organised a strike outside one of the factories owned by the German bastard Joseph Abs. Managed to get the whole damn country talking about worker safety. How's about another round, Tom? Adam shouted over the din. Tom raised his mug in acknowledgement, setting off a round of cheers among his fellows. All clamouring to pick up his tab, he hadn't paid for a beer in weeks. Yes, Adam thought things really were starting to looking up for Ireland. Even parliamentaries in the north had quietened down some after their terrorist attack, though Adam knew better than to think that was anything more than the calm before the storm. Really, the only problem that was left facing was the damned Germans. And from sure, the Taoiseach liked to talk about how the Irish was independent from the Reich, had even introduced some legislation to back Irish businesses over German ones, but the big corporations in Germany still had their slimy tentacles all over Ireland. Factories owned by giant German companies still dotted the landscape. Germany was a primary importer of Irish-made goods. Too much of Ireland's economy was tied up in German hands, Adam reckoned, and was drawn from his reverie by a Colvin and a round of drinks, worrying about the Germans could come later. Perhaps, for now, they could enjoy a bit of peace and prosperity. Who wants another beer? I'll take a bloody beer. Let's raise the salary, and also root out corruption. They're still a little bit corrupt, that's fine. They're still all peed off, that's fine. That's okay. Stuff it. I'll ask for some funding and I can build some factories. Thank you. I don't care about the investors and stuff now. Or is it the Germans anyways? Is that what this is for? If they were to leave, there'd be severe consequences. Who cares? I'm too busy building civilian factories. Right, so we don't have any focuses for the time being, which is fine. That gives us some political power. There we go, we used all that up. Oh, at least 5 million funded. Oh, we don't have that. And I don't care, they can get out of the country. I guess we're just waiting for the Civil War? Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Ah, the French of Novosibirsk in Altai has defeated the Central Siberian Republic. Oh, Novosibirsk is looking grand. And Amur is fighting Chita. There he goes. He's passed away. And now we wait. It's Civil War time. Krasnoyarsk is being invaded now by Kemerovo. And Kemerovo is losing. Do you have a tree? No, Krasnoyarsk it's not. That is fine. Oh. Okay, the Free State of Magadan's been invaded, and it looks like the German Civil War is about to kick off, hence why it's lagging like hell. The end of the pact! Oh, yes. It's a disaster here, said the ambassador to Germany over the phone. Everyone's throwing their stuff in the game. They're skimmers to their own country, and everyone here is taking a side. Alright, Gallagher, said Foreign Minister Aiken. Where's the successor to the Fuhrer? Is he in control? Nobody's in control, said Gallagher. Spear students are voting in the Ruhr. Borman's gathering who he can down south. Goring's taken over out east. And the SS is going berserk and occupy France and Poland. Hell, Spiegel seems to be putting his name into contention, and his forces are locking down Romania as we speak. Awful conversation on the other end. Sorry. The last Aer Lingus is leaving Tempelhof right now, and I can brief you more when I get there. Alright, good luck to you all. said Aitken. You too, sir, said the ambassador before he hung up. Immediately afterwards, there was silence. Lamass and Aitken looked at each other. Both knew what this meant. What the pact would be with Germany and anarchy. What the economy would be with Germany and anarchy. And what Ireland would now be without its economic lifelines. Lamass cursed at the top of his lungs. He wasn't going to hide it. Hell awaits us. Dun dun dun! The worst case scenario. Just calm down. Oh, Jesus. Okay, shit's about to hit the fan, really. For months we have been hearing rumours from Germania. Rumours of the Führer's ailing health, rumours of instability within the Reichstag. Now it seems the rumours have come to head. Age is dead, his great Reich in his death throes. Now the various factions within the German government make war with each other in a desperate bid for power, leave the remaining nations within the Einheitspact, all made to be dependent on the Reich in one sense or another to fend for themselves. Ireland's economy, like many of those in the Pact, has only survived thus far on the backs of German investors and mega corporations, both sources of revenue that have now dried up entirely due to the chaos of German civil war. Ireland stands alone for the first time in decades, and the economy has begun to flatline. Something must be done to stabilise the nation and fix the problem, and it must be done soon if we ever hope to recover. Dun dun dun! Not good. It was that Burgund is going to war with the French states. Right, that's all good. Oh look, it's that time again. Repress them all. Very strong. Oh, we'll break you down. Wait, we've almost broken down the real Irish Republican Army. We're getting there. Chaos in Ausland. Oh, the world, Europe just turns into a fire of death and bloodshed. Hans Speedo's taken over Germania. And there's Her Majesty's most loyal resistance. That's, I can't remember what it probably translates to, but the left resistance. 19 to 29, 25, 36. Oh, we'll see. Expansion in Africa. Oh, what's happening? You've got some random areas of support here. What? The Warsaw Uprising. Oh, I forgot how much stuff flipping kicks off. Not that corrupt. Fantastic. Hidden Heroes. The Africa Shield is here. The worst case scenario. Oh my days. Jesus. Right. As Danny walked down the beaten road, glancing from block to block, he imagined that what he saw here in Dublin was happening on every other Irish street. The shop fronts boarded up in the muffled city life that usually could be heard at this time of night, all but gone. Hope bit the dust behind all the closed doors, and despair had swept in swiftly to fill its place. Indeed, it was an empty and lifeless place to be left in. Danny thought that in some weird way, he was no different to each of those abandoned buildings. He too had been ditched by everyone around him the moment the realisation of economic chaos had set in. Though those who had already left had gone on to far better place, at least that is what he imagined. Nevertheless, they had gone and he was left behind to rot. One of the only comforts Danny could find in the midst of it all was the assurance that it could not possibly get any worse. The sheer amount of discontent and devastation would have to get the attention of those in power. Surely they would realise the need for change. They could not go on allowing him and the rest of Ireland to be beaten like this. A better country would surely form from all the insanity and confusion, yet that promise was not as comforting as he had first thought. Those who had allowed the collapse to happen appeared to be in the charge of the recovery. Again, Danny asked himself where the hope of the last few years had brought him, and given the bleak reality he endured, he cast doubt on any optimism once more. Why should he think the next era would be any better, let alone be different from the last? Ah, it's all coming down. Remove all off-map factories gained from German fund. Ah, wow, we are going to crash and burn next episode, that's for sure. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I shall be back with another episode very soon. So until next time, take care. Cheer bye. The now.